What Justin Baldoni's dismissed 400 million lawsuit reveals about power, privilege, and public perception. In a dramatic legal twist, a federal court in New York has dismissed Justin Baldoni's $400 million countersuit against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and the New York Times, calling into question the effectiveness of using litigation to reclaim public image in the era of digital scrutiny and cultural accountability. Baldoni, once praised for his progressive masculinity and emotional transparency, filed the countersuit in early 2025, alleging defamation and reputational sabotage after Blake Lively lodged sexual harassment claims stemming from the 2024 production of It Ends With Us. But U.S. District Judge Louis Lyman ruled last week that the suit lacked merit, protected by First Amendment and litigation privilege standards. The legal ruling, a closer look. The dismissal was based on three key determinations. Lively's complaint to California's Civil Rights Department is protected speech within legal privilege. Ryan Reynolds and publicist Leslie Sloan were not shown to have made false or malicious statements. The New York Times reporting was deemed standard journalistic practice with no evidence of reckless disregard for the truth. Additionally, Baldoni's separate $250 million defamation suit against the Times was thrown out, reinforcing courts' tendency to shield press freedoms peacefully in matters of public interest. Still, Judge Lyman left open a narrow window for Baldoni's legal team to amend and refile limited claims, but only by June 23rd, and under strict conditions. Fame, fallout, and the court of public opinion. While this legal outcome may seem like a personal defeat for Baldoni, the larger implications ripple across Hollywood, journalism, and online influencer culture. His case highlights a growing trend of celebrities using the courts to reshape narratives in the digital age. But as this dismissal shows, legal strategy is no substitute for public accountability, especially when the legal arguments rest on shaky ground. Celebrities increasingly find themselves operating under dual scrutiny. The courtroom, where facts and law dominate. The court of public opinion, where influence, sentiment, and narrative can be just as decisive. In Baldoni's case, a failed legal gambit may not only fail to restore his reputation, it may further erode it. The industry impact, a cautionary tale for Hollywood. This case is being watched closely across Hollywood as studios and producers reassess legal liabilities and reputational risks linked to their stars. Publicists and talent agents adopt more cautious media strategies, wary of reputational overreach. Actors and influencers learn that even with massive followings and activist credentials, legal privilege doesn't bend to popularity. Moreover, the dismissal sends a strong message that attempts to silence. Journalistic or civil complaints through massive lawsuits may backfire, especially when free speech and civil rights laws stand in the way. Bigger picture, the weaponization of legal systems? Baldoni's $400 million claim was more than a defense, it was a counteroffensive. Part of a broader cultural trend where powerful individuals attempt to reframe themselves as victims of cancel culture or media bias. But courts remain institutions of evidence, not emotion. As reputational lawsuits become more frequent in celebrity circles, this case may serve as a landmark for judicial resistance against legal bullying and media intimidation. What happens next? Baldoni may amend and refile by June 23rd for two specific claims: breach of implied covenant and tortious interference. The original sexual harassment lawsuit filed by Blake Lively is scheduled for trial in March 2026. All eyes now turn to whether Baldoni can recover reputationally or whether this legal loss becomes a career-defining moment. Final thought. Justin Baldoni's lawsuit was ambitious, perhaps even audacious. But in the intersection of fame and justice, ambition isn't always enough. In an era where both truth and image compete for attention, his case reminds us that celebrity is not immunity, and power, when wielded recklessly, can become its own undoing.